On August 13, 2014, a Cessna Citation XLS Plus departed from Rio de Janeiro, bound for Santos. On board was a presidential candidate who had recently asserted, "We cannot give up on Brazil." This is a story that demands attention. Greetings, aviation enthusiasts. Today's presentation is one of the most requested topics on the channel. Over the past few months, I have delved deep into the final report from CENIPA regarding this tragic accident. Everything we discuss today is grounded in that report, which you can find linked in the description. On the morning of that fateful day, Rio de Janeiro enjoyed beautiful weather, or, as aviators say, cavoque. However, just 339 kilometers to the south, a cold front was approaching the coastal region of Baixada Santista. Santos is notorious for its sudden weather changes, and its runway is nestled among rugged terrain. Understanding the airport's layout is critical. Santos began as a military aerodrome and, at the time of the accident, had rudimentary approach procedures, one of which was the NDB approach for runway 35. The NDB, or non-directional beacon, is imprecise by nature. It relies on good radio signal quality, favorable atmospheric conditions, visibility, and skilled execution by the pilot. The reliance on NDB procedures was a contributing factor in one of Brazil's deadliest aviation disasters in 1980, as we discussed in episode 803, when Trans-Brazil Flight 303 collided with a hill in Florianopolis. For the approach to Santos, the aircraft was required to stabilize at 4,000 feet over the NDB and execute a procedure known as blocking. From there, the aircraft would fly on a heading of 193 degrees for 2 minutes, descending to 2,200 feet before turning to a heading of 350 degrees, aligned with the runway. The aircraft would then approach the NDB again, reblocking at 1,700 feet, and begin its descent to the runway's minimum altitude of 700 feet, approximately 210 meters. The runway should be visually identifiable within 1 minute and 15 seconds after this procedure, or upon reblocking the second NDB, known as Vicente or RR on the chart. If the runway does not appear, a go-around must be initiated. The commander of this flight was 42 years old, with 6,235 flight hours, yet only 130 hours on the Citation XLS Plus. In the 30 days leading up to the accident, he had flown 53 hours on this aircraft type. According to the investigation, the commander was seen as calm and composed, adopting a cooperative approach and prioritizing safety. He had previously worked for a charter company in São Paulo, operating various Cessna Citation models. However, during this period, reports surfaced that he sometimes opted to use the aircraft's flight management system, FMS, for direct visual approaches. This detail is crucial as it directly influenced the destabilized approach to Santos. Moreover, the investigation revealed that the commander had not provided space for the co-pilot to speak, displaying a more commanding demeanor and excessive self-confidence. His interview performance suggested difficulties in integrating with other pilots, leading to his non-selection for another charter company. In the days preceding the accident, the commander expressed concerns to fellow pilots about the co-pilot's inadequate performance, which increased his workload. The co-pilot, aged 44, had 5,279 flight hours, with only 95 on the Citation XLS Plus. His prior experiences included challenges during training for an airline in São Paulo, where he struggled to meet performance benchmarks. The planned flight on that day was straightforward. The crew intended to take off from Santos at 9:30 a.m., flying directly to the specified waypoints before approaching Santos. They had enough fuel for the operation and a return trip to São Paulo after landing. As the aircraft took off at 9:21 a.m., meteorological conditions had already deteriorated at Santos, transitioning from visual to instrument conditions just minutes prior. Upon requesting weather updates, the crew learned that Santos was operating under instrument rules, with rain and limited visibility. Despite this, the crew proceeded with their approach, unaware of the rapidly deteriorating conditions. Their decision to continue was influenced by the previous good weather in Rio, which may have clouded their judgment regarding the situation in Santos. As they approached Santos, the crew reported executing the ECO-1 NDB procedure for runway 35. However, they deviated from the established approach profile, failing to execute the required blocking procedures. This violation marked a critical moment in the chain of events leading to the accident. The pilot's experience and past successes with similar procedures may have fostered a false sense of security. This phenomenon, known as normalization of deviance, occurs when individuals continue to perform actions outside of established protocols because they have succeeded in the past. When the aircraft's approach was compromised, the standard response should have been to initiate a go-around. However, the NDB that should have guided that decision was non-operational that day. As a result, the crew was left uncertain about when to initiate the missed approach. Eyewitnesses reported seeing the aircraft fly low over the airport, attempting to land before curving sharply to the left. The last images captured by security cameras revealed a rapid descent and a desperate attempt to regain control. Unfortunately, the aircraft crashed into residential areas near Santos, resulting in devastating destruction. CENIPA's investigation followed swiftly, focusing on the aircraft's black box. Although the cockpit voice recorder was damaged, investigators were able to extract some audio, which revealed that it did not belong to the accident flight. Instead, it was maintenance audio, raising questions about the aircraft's operational status. The investigation uncovered that neither pilot had the appropriate certification for the Citation XLS Plus. The commander was certified for the XLS, while the co-pilot had experience on the ENCORE model. This lack of necessary training was a significant oversight. Moreover, the pilots had only flown together for about 6 weeks, and their differing backgrounds may have hampered their ability to work effectively as a team, especially under pressure. As the investigation concluded, it was clear that multiple factors contributed to the accident. The crew's decision-making, adherence to procedures, and the pressures of carrying a public figure all played a role in the tragic outcome. While investigations seek to understand what happened rather than assign blame, the findings highlight the complexities of aviation safety and the importance of rigorous training and adherence to protocols. As we reflect on this incident, we honor the lives lost and recognize the lessons learned. Each flight is a complex interplay of human factors, technical skills, and environmental conditions, all of which must align for successful operation. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of aviation safety. Your support allows us to continue sharing these vital lessons.